Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 3:48 a.m.
Alexa, what's the date?
Today is Friday, October 27th.
That satellite man's burning my tailbone and the satellite man's choking my cat. And somebody tried to communicate something that it was a Middle Eastern satellite controller. This is America, not the Middle East. You don't own my race. I'm not your race. I'm not your religion. Middle Eastern. You claim to be the king of somewhere. America is a larger country than the country you came from. America is the first world country. They communicated it was the king of Brunei or something. You don't own America. My mother was not friends with you. Doris Duke was not friends with the king of Brunei. No, she was not. And if we find out that you wrote that script or your people wrote that script in reference to Bernard and Doris, you're going to be sitting behind bars for the rest of your fucking dirty Middle Eastern fucking life. You are not allowed to step on Doris Duke property, man. Some people think you might have been involved in the murder of Doris Duke. And you claim you don't know who I am? I'm the child of Doris Duke, aren't I? And Walt Disney. And in reference to celebrities in Hollywood, if you are found to be guilty to be tied in with the King of Brunei or any other foreign entity that's trying to steal land in America, or if you're tied in with the Nazi Germans or the German Middle Easterners that are trespassing on property in America with satellites, or they're trespassing trying to steal wealth, you're going to be going to prison. Any celebrity, Hollywood A-list celebrity that is conspiring with the King of Brunei or any other person, if they're conspiring with political families in America, and if you're violating the laws or whatever you're doing, you're going to get prosecuted. There are laws in this country. Everybody abides by the laws except for your people, it seems. You're trying to trespass on other people's property all the time. You're trying to make false claims. And those Middle Eastern people that possibly stole $80 billion from my mother's mansion in Beverly Hills, every one of those people have to get arrested. I don't care who the fuck they say they are. It doesn't matter. I come from a royal family. Royals don't share money, motherfuckers. You might be a third world country Middle Eastern royal, but what I own is not anything that you'd have any ties to. So if we find out that this, they even said that Middle Eastern man tried to steal this little house before too, or one of those Middle Eastern men did. The man has to get arrested for everything they've tried to do with their satellites. Just because you're big in the Middle East with your own race, this country has multi-ethnical groups of people in different races and ethnicities and religions. You might be the king over there in the country you came from, but you ain't shit in this country. This is a European American country too. And certain acknowledgments of things. So in reference to your position of what you're trying to do, it is a crime. And I don't know if the office of Elliot Ness knows anything about the King of Brunei's tricks or his daughter's tricks and their telephone games or phone interceptions or whatever they've tried to do. But maybe they could investigate to see if he's one of the people that tried to steal from my mother and father's property. And I don't know if the office of Elliot Ness has the record of this Middle Eastern man trying to rape me. The man's a child molester. He tried to molest me and attempted to hurt me in Beverly Hills when I was little. And he's tied in with the same people that was involved in the murder of my parents. Does the office of Elliot Ness know who he is? There should be a police record in Beverly Hills about this man. My mother and father was not friends with this man that's doing these things. And any of these politicians that are tied in with this man, their name's got to be on the hate club list. See, the hate club list is a list of people that would try to steal from me that have been caught in their conspiracy game of trying to steal my mother and father's estates from me and companies. Always get them for trespassing. And that motherfucker tried to communicate something saying like, oh, he thought they got away with it. There's no way to get away with it. There's no statute of limitations of prosecuting you. They're choking the cat again. You better stop. Or national defense might start satelliting you in your Middle Eastern fucking trash game. You better stop choking that cat. One of those giants might come over and flip over your fucking car with their bare hands, man. Better watch yourself, Middle Eastern man. This is a first world country. You obviously don't know how to control yourself. I'm talking about the ones in the satellite control rooms. I mean, there's Middle Eastern people of different races and ethnicities that work in gas stations, work in different places. But this Middle Eastern man does not own the oil industry in America. And America gets most of their oil from Alaska pipelines, don't they? So that Middle Eastern man has fabricated that he was some sultan, but he won't turn over his DNA to get inspected, or so they can analyze his DNA to see if he was a real royal of his country or not. See, this man claims he thought he could just make up laws because he came from the country that he came from. But this is not the physical country that he came from. The American continent is not the same as other continents. So when somebody comes into this country, there's guidelines and laws that everybody has to follow. And that man and his people are a bunch of thieves. It's like Alibaba and the 40 Thieves or something. Or whatever they call their people that are trying to do these things. And don't forget, different people come from different Middle Eastern countries. But the ones that are doing this, somebody knows who they are. And you know the King of Brunei got kicked out of California because he was trying to abuse people, or he was trying to steal the Beverly Hills Hotel or something. I don't know. And then he supposedly came over here to Indiana. I don't know if he's in Indiana or not, or Indianapolis, Indiana. But he has no ties to anything of my mother or father or family history. And if he or his daughter or anybody of his clergy of people was bribing American politicians and trying to steal from me, they can get indicted for the crimes of accepting bribes, whoever they are. And for illegal weapons use of satellites. And home invasion. And trespassing. And if he stole money out of my mother's mansion in Beverly Hills, he'd have to get prosecuted. Now, you know, these people had kidnapped me from California and New York before. And they always kidnapped me and held me hostage in Indiana the most. I'd been kidnapped and rescued several times. Like, was it over 9 times or something? Back in the 80s. And these people have held me hostage in Indiana. I was held hostage in Arkansas. And there was a few other places they tried to hold me hostage at. And Chicago Police Department has communicated, or somebody's communicated from Chicago, that they even have some reports of people stalking me and my mother and father at some of the properties in Chicago before. These people won't even give me the information in reference to property in Chicago. I don't have the keys to nothing. If anybody in Chicago tried to send any letters or anything, these government people stole them. And I was even in some movies in Chicago a long time ago. I've been in more movies and TV shows in other cities and states than in Indiana. So in reference to these people trying to block me from my career, see, that role protocol in the media is very important. See, you're not allowed to throw me out of the entertainment industry, but I'm allowed to throw you out of the entertainment industry. Do you understand why? Because what my parents owned and what I'm the owner of. You don't own what I'm the owner of, and anybody falsely claiming can get arrested. Look up all the information of what I'm the owner of in reference to my mother and father's estates and my grandparents. I'm the only child. I'm the only owner. So whoever anybody else is, If you're roadblocking me from my property, roadblocking me from my offices at my mother and father's companies, somebody needs to arrest you. No matter who the fuck you are.